Sure. Hello and welcome to Guaranty RV's live stream. We call it G Live. We air every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time from the palatial estates here in Junction City, Oregon at Guaranty RV Super Centers. My name is Marshall White. I'm your host today. I'm joined by my best friend and colleague, Quinn Larson. Hello, Quinn.
Thank you very much, Marshall. It sounds like a bit of a setup this morning, but thank you. It's good to be here.
You know, I am your best friend today because I am like putty. I'm like sealant in your hands today as we do this roof repair demonstration for our audience. I was thinking last night, we need nicknames, don't we? Because we've been doing this now for, I think this is our second month of live streams, and there's been so many requests to know what our call handle is that we better get on this. And I was thinking, maybe you would be accepting of the nickname Dr. Q.
That's great. And you can't really give yourself your own nickname. So how about, let's see, if I'm Dr. Q, you want to be, how about Captain M? All right.
I'll take it. So, I would challenge anybody who's listening today, if you have Q in your name, please let me know, because he's got to be the only Dr. Q on the face of the planet. But, Dr. Q, we are going to be looking at a StarCraft trade-in today that needs some serious help. We're not of the mind that this is, something that we can damage too badly. It came in and trade, and so that's why we picked the unit. What we want to attempt to do is show you the full RV roof repair demonstration on this particular unit. Dr. Q, tell us a little bit about why we selected this unit.
Thank you, Captain M. So we actually selected this unit for a couple of reasons. One, its footprint. It's a little lower than a traditional motorhome or trailer, obviously, so we can see on the roof a little easier. But we selected this unit because it actually needs some help on some of its sealed edges. So last week we did a whole bunch of talking about numbers and abbreviations. This week we're going to keep it super simple. Sealing and resealing an RV. Pretty simple endeavor. You're going to peel up the old stuff, you're going to clean it, and you're going to put on new sealant. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify some of our trouble spots. So we're going to take a visual of it. We've done a little pre-work here. We've found some sealant here that is not real pretty. It's beginning to lift up. That's going to cause you some trouble eventually. The roof on this particular unit, oddly enough, actually looks pretty good. If I were going to do a full seal, I might hit the seams and edges here and around the vent. Anything that sticks up out of your roof, you're going to want to seal. You don't need to seal the entire surface of the roof. All you need to do is seal any of the edges, any cross members, or anything coming up out of the roof. So a lot of times people want to lay out a whole new layer of sealant across the entire roof. You don't need to do that unless there's a hole in it. This roof is not going to leak in the body of it. Where it's going to leak is anywhere it makes a connection point. So,
and just to reiterate then, we're looking for areas where the seal is lifting or where the seal has started to crack. We can see great examples of that here. If we come down here, Kyle, with the camera, we're actually going to be repairing this section here because we have a void. It's completely missing, and we see some dirt in there, some mildew that we want to clean up before we do the seal. So this is a perfect test case where you can see it lifting underneath here, and you can see the void right there. So we're going to be fixing that. Now, before we get to work though, Quinn, we need to select the right type of caulk or sealant, don't we? Now, I think this is a metal roof. There's a lot of different styles of roof that would precipitate a decision about what type of sealant to use, though. Could you help us understand how to determine what type of roof we have and what type of seal to use?
Absolutely, and you're right. The first place to start is the roof material itself. This is a metal or aluminum roof. They'll come in fiberglass and they'll come in rubber. Rubber comes in 3 or 4 different versions. There's an EPDM, there's a TPO, there's a Britex, but it's all a rubber membrane, basically. The TPO has some other ingredients into it. But what you would go to then is where you're going to seal. So if we're going to seal a vertical edge like this, we would actually want to use something like the Acrylar or the ProFlex, because those are not going to, they are going to stay where you put them. The Dicor is safe for all materials Dicor, got my thumb on it. Good job.
Is that a brand of sealant?
That is a brand of sealant, and that is also one of the major manufacturers of the rubber roof membrane throughout the RV industry. So most of your rubber roofs are made by Dicor. So anytime you can use a product from the same manufacturer, you got a pretty good idea it's going to be safe. So Dicor is safe for all materials, but it is a flow seal. So it is not going to stay on a vertical surface. On a horizontal surface, it actually finds all the low spots, flows out, evens itself out. On a horizontal surface, it's going to run away and hit the ground. It's not going to stay where you put it. So you're going to want to use a ProFlex in most of those applications. Acrylar is really more for your fiberglass roof and that sort of thing. It will work, but you're definitely going to want to pay attention to what you're putting this on because it can be bad for rubber roof.
Gotcha. Okay, so rubber roof, Dicor, fiberglass roof, Acrylar or fiberglass side, and then any kind of a metal, any sort of vertical application. So the side of an RV where we can have a drip factor, that's when we use the ProFlex.
Correct, correct. And then to muddy the waters even a little further, recently, in the last couple of years, they have come out with an actual seal tape. It's hard to see in the package there, but this is sold by the foot. We're in like 50-foot, 100-foot increments. It's relatively expensive. I think it's $3 or $4 a foot. So its price point is a little higher than any of these tubes. But once you get that surface clean and you put this on, you probably are not going to have to seal it again.
Okay. So now that we know a little bit about what we're supposed to be doing here in terms of which sealant will work for which type of roof and which dimension or face of the RV, I think we can go ahead and get started with cleaning away the old sealant and any mildew or dirt and applying the actual caulk or sealant. I can't resist. Our service manager said, whatever you do, do not bring up the flamethrower torch, because we might have our viewers want to actually go do this and then burn themselves. Professionals at the Guaranty RV Service Center will heat up their putty knife so that in certain applications they can remove a seam more quickly and more efficiently and not get blisters all over their hands. They're doing it all the time. Guaranty does not recommend that you start using the flamethrower, but man, if we have time, we got to fire that baby up and get this puppy red hot just so we can play with it.
We'll save that for the end. We'll tease that till the end out there in internet land.
Dr. Q's just like,
I am excited to use the flamethrower for many reasons.
Yeah, mainly because your boss is sitting here and he might get burned.
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to get started on this bad boy. You tell me if I do something wrong.
You got it. All right, so like anything, the right tool is important. Putty knife is where to start. Marshall's going to get it in there good and tight.
So our RV service manager was sure to tell me, go ahead and put my fingers right in front of it as I apply lots of pressure so that if I miss, I might gouge myself. Do not put your fingers in front of the putty knife. This is going to be a little bit harder than I thought.
A little tight angle there, but yeah, Marshall's right. Never cut towards yourself. And this gives us a good opportunity to talk about some other elements of the roof seal. Occasionally, you are going to find a larger vehicle than what we've got here. That means you're going to have to climb up on the roof. If you are not comfortable doing that, please contact our service department. And before you get up onto the roof of any RV, you need to make sure that roof is going to be able to support your weight. How are we doing over there, Marshall?
Good. It's coming right up. And as a matter of fact, it's not too dirty.
Yeah, actually, you're doing a good job cleaning that up out there. No matter what it looks like to the eye, though, we're always going to give it a little bit of a chemical cleaning just to help the adhesion when we put on the new sealant.
I can tell I'm being a little bit aggressive on this. I've taken off a tad bit of paint, but I suppose if it's aluminum, it's not going to rust, and I'm going to be covering it up anyway with this sealant, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you haven't done any. You haven't penetrated the metal or anything like that. You've taken a little off the top.
That's really clean. I mean, I see a little bit of leftover sealant inside.
That's actually okay because that sealant has found the lowest spot. digging it out of that crack may be counterproductive in that it is already sealing there. We've taken the top portion of the old seal off, which is the dried and cracked portion. That still looks pretty good. Sealant-wise to me, I would clean that and seal right over it before I dug it out of there and had to put new sealant in that crack anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm glad you confirmed that. I always kind of wondered that. You know, I had to do my own RV many years ago, and I couldn't get it all off, and I felt like maybe I damaged it trying to get some of it off. But you're telling me that I have plenty of surface to still seal. Don't worry. Don't go to the point of extremes damaging your RV to get sealant out of a crack.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And really, we're taking the top layer off. We're getting down as deep into it as we can, so that the new stuff has a nice clean surface to adhere to. So we're skipping a step here, Marshall. We have cleaned it. Yes, sir. We've cleaned it with our putty knife, but now we need to clean it chemically. And for that, we're going to use Acrosol, which is acrylic body solvent. It is pretty caustic stuff. If we were using a lot of it, I would strongly recommend Marshall wearing gloves and be in a little more ventilated area. But this stuff is amazing. It's going to take and clean that up maybe 1 or 2 swipes.
My eye! Okay, here we go. Wow, that's cleaning it up even more. It's probably impossible to see it on camera, but I can tell that's some heavy-duty solvent.
Yeah, it is not messing around. We sell it at the travel center in both the spray bottle and a pour bottle. And if you're going to do a roof job, it really is a vital component of doing it correctly.
Shameless.
That's like the 3rd plug I've gotten in less than 10 minutes this morning. That's pretty good.
I love it. No, our Guaranty RV Travel Center is literally a truck stop for RVers. It is an oasis for RVers. It's right next door to our Guaranty RV Motorized Showcase, and you really have to see it to believe it. You know, I'm a marketing guy and I can over pitch things sometimes, but this store won the Convenience Store News best low cost remodel nationwide year before last. It's a beautiful store. It has $1 million in RV parts on hand in the store. We have a rental center. We've got pet grooming. We've got our accessories department, and we've got 12, 20 beers on tap. Growler fill station. I mean, what more? Food, hot food, and we've got
Acrosol.
Which I'm growing to love this. I'm gonna need some of this for my RV.
I think we may have to have an Acrosol intervention for Marshall when this is all over. But let's move on with the sealing portion of the process. So we've pre-cut this tip. So give it an angle. It gives you more surface, and you're going to actually lay that angle straight against the body and pull backwards.
And I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some out in advance. I'm gonna get a nice flow going, so I don't have any previously dried sealant.
And if you look at that sealant, that is a really firm sealant. So that's why it sticks to the side. You see that? Almost already, it's beginning to cure and tacky. I didn't get almost any on my fingers.
This is not, liquid nails.
No.
For wood repair.
No. And do go to even if it is not our travel center, go to an RV store and get RV sealant. The stuff that they sell at the hardware store is not going to work for your purposes. Most of it is going to dry rigid, which is just going to crack the first time that the body flex is going down the road. So all of these sealants are designed to dry flexible.
Okay, here we go.
So there is an art to this. Marshall's doing a pretty good job for not having a whole lot of experience here. That's a pretty clean and even bead. We can cheat a little bit. Actually, our service department showed us a little trick here. We can actually take this Acrosol. We're going to spray it a little bit over the top of the sealant there, just lightly. And so that's going to give us a barrier between the rag and the sealant itself.
So we've still got a little bit of an extra bead there. I think I'm going to call good enough good enough. I mean, I got way too much
we can get fancy with it, but for demonstration purposes, I think we've demonstrated it just fine. So what happens here is when someone that has done this for a long time, that's going to be a smaller bead in there. But if you were doing this at home, more is better. if you're doing it at home, more is better. That way, you get a big bead like that, you're pretty confident you've managed to seal all of the area there. So, looks good.
It looks just fine, doesn't it, Quinn? All right. Well, that does it for the repair. We didn't get to fire up our flame thrower torch today, which I'm a little bit regretful of.
Next week, for some reason, I don't know.
We'll bust that bad boy out. Not your boss. So for all of us at Guaranty RV Super Centers, especially our RV service department, which would ask you to please be safe if you're doing any of these procedures with RV roof repair, we're going to sign off. Dr. Q, Captain M, until next Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, have a great day and a happy weekend. God bless.